Hey Opties! Today we're talking about linear word problems and we're going to do some practice. First, let's take a look at our linear formulas practice. This will include standard form and slope-intercept form. Number 1 says, at the Country Hill you can attend the bi-weekly fish fry and get an adult plate for $10 and a kid's plate for $5. 100 adults bought a plate and 75 kids bought a plate on Friday. Or maybe their adults bought the plate for them, but regardless, the Country Hill's making that money from 75 kids' plates. So how much money did the Country Hill receive from plate purchases on Friday? So that's the question. So what's the total amount of money? So let's define some variables as X and Y, aka our amount of adult plates and our amount of child plates. So we can call those A for number of adult plates, this can be like our X. It really doesn't matter which one's our X and Y because we both have a rate and an amount, so rate and a quantity. You could swap the order, it really wouldn't matter in this case. And C could be the number of child plates. That will be our Y. And we do need to separate these because they have different rates. So that's why we do two different variables. So the question is, how are we going to set up our AX plus BY equals C? Well, if X is A must be the rate for X. So how much money does it cost for an adult plate? That's $10. So 10A. And C is our Y. So how much money does it cost for a child plate? That's $5. And C is what we want to find, the big C. So we know what A and C are because it tells us 100 adults bought a plate. So that's going to be 10 times 100. So we're substituting for A here. And how many children bought a plate? 75. So that's our C, our little c. Now, if you're going to use little c for your Y value, I can see how it's going to be confusing with this big C. But you don't even necessarily need to write this big C. You really need to be concerned with this section right here. So let's figure out what this is. 10 times 100 is 1,000. And 5 times 75 is 375. So the total amount is $1,375. So that's what they made on Friday night. That's pretty good. And that would be our big C if you wanted to say it like that. So that's going to be our big C, which is the total. So let's write a little sentence here to make sure we're addressing the question. So how much money did the Country Hill receive from plate purchases on Friday? They received $1,375 from plate purchases. And you can say on Friday too. Let's say that. On Friday. Okay, so we're being very descriptive and answering all of the question addressed. Now let's look at number 2. At Southern Lanes Bowling Alley, you pay $12 to get your shoes in lane. So basically you're paying $12 before you even play a game. It's your startup. And then you pay $2 for every game you play. So that's your rate for every game you play. So how much would you spend if you played 3 games? I probably would not write an equation if I was solving this. I probably would just say, okay, $12. If I play 3 games, that's 3 times 2, 6. So 6, 7, 8, that's $18 total. Pretty easy, right? But I'm going to show you how to write an equation in slope-intercept form that will also work. So we know it's slope-intercept form because of the $12 representing a startup value or a y-intercept, an initial value. It's money you're paying regardless of the number of games you play. So X does not affect this number. That's why it's going to be our constant value, which is our B. So y is going to be the total amount of money that we're going to spend. So let's write that. Total money spent. And that's what we're going to find. So we'll find that in the end. M is our rate or our slope. So that's going to be $2. But we can also write that as just a 2. Because if we're writing it in our equation, we don't want extra symbols. And X is the number of games played. You can change these variables if you wanted to. You could say X is G. But you don't have to, as long as you know what it represents. So the number of games played is 3 games. So we'll go ahead and substitute that. And how much did we pay regardless of the number of games we played? That's our B or y-intercept, and that's 12. We pay that to get our shoes in our lane. So we just have to simplify this expression. So 2 times 3 is 6 plus 12, which is 18, and that's going to be dollars. So here's a little statement we need to write. How much would you spend if you played 3 games? So we're going to say you would spend $18 for 3 games. Let's take a look at our percentages questions. Number 3 says, 5 is what percent of 20? So we can write that like this. 5 equals what percent, aka some sort of variable, times 20. So to make that look a little bit better, we'll put 20 as a coefficient, so we'll say 20x. So let's solve this for x. We'll divide both sides by 20. And we get 1/4 equals x. So what does that mean though in terms of a percentage? Well, 1/4 is the same thing as 0.25 or 25 hundredths, and that's the same thing as 25%. So we can say 5 is 25% of 20. Number 4, 16 is 80% of what number? So instead of writing 80%, we can write 0.80 or 8/10 times our x. Now let's divide both sides by 8/10. X equals 20. So here's what we'll write. 16 is 80% of 20. Number 5. Your bill at a restaurant is $32.54 and you want to leave a 20% tip. What is the total amount you spent for this meal? So we're going to find 10%. We're going to double that to get 20%, and then we're going to add that percentage back to the original bill. So let's take a look at $32.54. So 10% of that, that's going to be taking your decimal and moving it one place to the left, because you're multiplying by 10%, which is 1/10, which is the same thing as dividing by 10. So you're eliminating a place value. So that's going to be $3.25. So let's add this to $3.25 because 2 10% make up a 20%. So let's write that. 20% is 10% plus 10%. So that's going to give us $6, and 25 and 25 is 50, so $6.50. And then our total money spent is going to be our original amount, so $32.54 plus $6.50, and that's going to be, let's take a look. 32 and 6 is 36, 37, 38. but the two 50s make $1, so 39. And we still got the 4 cents left. So $39.04, that's your total bill. All right, that's it for linear word problems practice. See y'all next time.